This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You are tuned into the TCSF podcast with Big Z and Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. Coming straight to you from the 606 Media Studios, powered by True Chicago Sports Fans. This is episode 285, early spring training. We're going to talk Cubs and Sox as they gear up for spring training. We're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears and the latest news in the coaching room that's happening there. The Bulls, who are playing seesaw with their record and then make a midnight move and get rid of one of Chicago's own. So we'll talk all about that. I did hit up the Blackhawks game this past Saturday. Even though it was a loss, it was a pretty good game. And we'll talk about everything else that comes to mind, especially because Ivan's got a lot to talk about. So if you're good, I was gonna say I know you got a lot to talk about. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on your podcast app, please leave us a 5-star review. It means the world to us. Remember, subscribe, share, all that. The only way we can grow is with your help by doing that for us. So if you got to go to 606media.com to get your ultimate source for all things Chicago, don't forget to swing by there and grab your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Check out the exclusive For the Love of Sports line. We have a bunch of stuff. We've got hoodies, tank tops, softball shirts, all types of stuff. Go ahead and check out all the gear that we got on there in our merch page. And if you just want to check out the rest of the podcasts that are up there, you got No War on the Weekend with Steven and Sean. You got Oscar and myself. Lots of good content on 606media.com. So go ahead and check that out. But let's strap it in. Let's get ready for the unforgettable ride through the best of Chicago sports culture and beyond. Let's get started. Ivan, let's talk about our Chicago Bears, who recently have lost 2 coaches. We almost lost 3, but losing Declan Doyle and losing Bieniemy this in the last couple of 10 days. It's been a rough, and it's going to happen. We talked about this off air that once you are a good team, you are going to get poached for your coaches because you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the nature of the beast, right? Declan Doyle goes to Baltimore, where obviously he's going to be calling plays. Like that's as an offensive coordinator, as a guy who wants to move up, in this league, coaching wise, calling the plays and being, trusted and responsible for the decisions on offense as a total, in totality. That's something that every young coordinator is wanting to receive that opportunity. And of course, it's like, if you don't receive that opportunity, how could you ever grow as a coordinator, especially offensively, in order to get to that head coaching position, which you ultimately want? Maybe some people don't, but let's be real. Like, if you're a young coach coming up through the ranks in the NFL, you get an opportunity to be a head coach. It's huge for your career.
Here's the other thing. He's only 30, and he's already one step away from being a head coach. If he has a great season with Lamar and transforms that offense and able to get Lamar over that hump, which he's been taking these losses in the playoffs and not being able to get to the Super Bowl. 30 years old. I mean, that's crazy because we're a lot we're older. So it's to think about someone at 30 years old that can possibly be a coach at 31, 32. And we've seen some of that in the league, a lot of young coaching going on. But it's still wild to think about someone that's just 30, like 12 years out of high school. Like, you've been coaching, JUCO college, then college, or you got to the NFL, and you're the game manager, or you're the whatever the lowest the totem pole of the coaching staff is. You're cutting up film, whatever it may be. You're still in the NFL, and he's risen pretty quickly, and that should tell you the amount of talent that he has.
Yeah, I mean, you've gotten the experience with, especially this year. You have obviously a great, I guess, a great head coach that you got to learn from. Obviously, I'm sure he was there doing as much mentoring as you can, especially like in your first year as a head coach. You're obviously focused on a little more of you in the team more than like, all right, let me. That's kind of where I see it as. Like maybe I'm wrong. Like obviously there's could be times where you're teaching or tutoring, your young offensive minds, but again, like for me, it's like you have you had an A+ coaching staff that you got to learn from, you got to experience, you got to see how they go about their business. For a young guy, that type of stuff is like you can't put a number on it, right? It's priceless because the information that you're receiving, the understanding of how things work as a business in the league, and how you go about managing, football players, grown men that are millionaires that, and it's hard to navigate sometimes, but learning that from this coaching staff with how well that they ran that locker room with all the the good, better, better, like the attention and the command that Ben had in the room. It was probably the best situation for a guy like Declan Doyle because you got to see how one man can command a room, or pretty much a whole organization. And we're kind of blessed with that. I wish him well. I don't. I mean, obviously, we're going to lose guys, but the main guy is Ben Johnson. So, like, I'm sure coordinators will come and go. I'm sure we're not going to want to lose like a lot of them or all of them or certain ones. But that's just kind of the nature of the beast. It is what it is. We have the guy at the head coaching position, so I think everything else will kind of just fall suit.
Yeah, and to your point, the here's the luxury of having Ben Johnson. He's the offensive coordinator. He's the one calling the plays, right? So you're gonna have coordinators come in and do well with us and then leave just because of the success of the team, right? So because our head coach is the offensive coach who implemented the offense, you're not going to lose a step, right? You're not going to be Detroit where you lost all your coordinators and now you see the ramifications of those guys leaving. They lost Ben Johnson and they lost their
I got their
defensive coach.
offensive coordinator. They've the defensive coordinator. They get a new defensive coordinator. I'm not quite sure. No.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator went to the Jets.
No. I'm talking about their defense coordinator this year. I think he's staying. He was actually did a pretty good job it's a linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. He did a good job in the absence of Aaron Glenn, but again, like to your point, you lose big guys that gain trust with your players, guys that understand the organization, guys that understand the players, understand the system, and it's tough, man. It's hard to get that type of energy back, and that's why Ben said like, hey, we're not planning to build off of next year. We got to like restart. It's got to be a restart and a refocus on what we're doing. Yeah, you could take some of the good and implement it. You could definitely take some of the bad and try to adjust and become better from it. But again, you got to be able to. It's a wipe the slate clean type of approach, but with that understanding that your team is good enough. Your team's one play away, I'll just say one play away in most of their losses from winning the game.
Yeah.
And especially in that playoff game, one play away, one stop, one decision. So the sky's the limit for the Bears, I feel like. But again, you're going to have to, with new players, you're going to have to regain that trust and that camaraderie and that belief in each other during the offseason to get back to where you want to go.
Yeah, and again, I think it's going to take some time. They'll wait till after the Super Bowl to either start interviewing and going forward into the second and third process of hiring an offensive coordinator. They're probably keep their options very open. I know a lot of the guys are still interviewing for head coaching jobs. But can you talk to me about the impact that Bieniemy made on this team, and what kind of loss are we going to have with him going back to Kansas City?
Well, the running back room, right? Obviously, that was the biggest impact that he had. I'm not sure about everything else. Like maybe, obviously, he's in the locker room, so maybe he had impact somewhere else. But like specifically, excuse me, for the running backs, you saw the difference in Swift after the bye week, right? He was more one cut up downhill, not dancing in the hole, get upfield, and then try to make your move. And I think with Manungai, he brought that. You saw in that first ever, it was like almost the first ever clip you saw of him working with the running backs. He got on Manungai, because he wasn't picking up his feet, wasn't doing the drill properly. So he got on him. So I'd imagine he was on him because, him and Manungai are kind of similar backs. You know what I mean? Like their stature wise, maybe Manungai's a little more of a powerhouse, like a truck, but they're similar backs. So like I feel like that understanding that, hey man, this guy is kind of like he's kind of the same build, kind of he has this aggressiveness to him. He could hit you, he could pop you and keep going. He's hard to bring him down. I think that just needed to be reinforced in what I would call tough coaching, because I'm sure he coached those guys tough and was on their ass about playing running back. Because if you ever Bieniemy's intense, and I could imagine him being intense as an OC or whatnot, but imagine him coaching his position. I imagine you would be, hey, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this is the position I played. This is my understanding. You got to do it this way. And I think he did that. I think he got the best out of a Swift. He got the best out of a Manungai. The other backs, it is what it is. But, I think he did a great job with those two backs, especially with a guy like Manungai, who I thought initially I didn't know where he was going to, fit in. Like, I didn't know if they were going to use him, if he was going to fit in. Everybody just talked about Roshan. And then boom, this kid, 7th round pick, comes out of nowhere and is running guys over, trucking guys. People are scared to tackle him. It's impressive. And I think Bieniemy for sure was the architect of that. He was the impact that a young guy like Manungai needed, and he was the boot with a guy like Swift, making him understand, hey man, you have the speed, you got the power, not a whole lot of power, but you got enough power to one cut, get to the hole, and then when you got space, go create. And those were the issues early on, and they got fixed.
Yeah, you did see that. He came back from the injury, and he was a completely different running back. Speaking of Swift, when he came back, completely different. Manungai had them, 2 or 3 games where he was the lead back, and we were like, oh, well, Swift might lose his job. He might lose his job because Manungai went off. And if he can, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes by fumbling the ball or missing his blocks, he's going to be the guy. And when Swift came back, he was the major running back. And then they started to make him a cohesive unit by kind of splitting the time, or either going with a hot hand, right? That sometimes it's all about matchups in the NFL, and you just go with whoever's hot. It's a good running back room. It's a good running back. You know what you do next year?
It's okay.
You add
right.
You gotta add. Yeah. So I think Swift is fine.
Yeah.
Mike, you got to keep Manungai, Roshan by you and your big helmet from NBA Jam need to go still down the street. Bye. See you later. You can sell hot dogs or beer up and down Soldier Field. That's great. But
if it's me going into this offseason, right, and you're looking at, is Swift still? I think Swift might be. Is he still on the books? Right.
I believe he. I don't know. Let's see. Go ahead.
Swift, DeAndre Swift. If DeAndre's still on there, it depends on what he's asking for. If he's, let's see, where's his contract? DeAndre Swift contract. Give me 1 second. So it was 3 years from Spot Track. Trying to pull this up. Here we go. Here we go. He's a free agent, right? So he's a UDFA after 26. So that would be UDFA after 26. So we got him for what? One more year?
One more season.
One more season. You have, in my opinion, you look for a guy in free agency, another veteran back, but you also go ahead and draft a running back, or you go ahead, or you look at running backs later in the draft, undrafted guys that you could find who you could potentially, find a true back, a real good back. You could find those guys. There's a lot of those guys that pop up, undrafted late in rounds, Kyle Manungai, for instance, that make impacts. And I think that could be one of the only, like, position-wise, if you could really find a guy down late, he could really make an impact for you. Like, certain. It just depends on the system and it depends on the player, obviously. But I really would want to see two more backs added. One in free agency, one in the draft. So you continue this, like, rotation where it's like, all right, if we lose Swift, we still got we have a young guy, a young guy, and whoever they draft, and you still have a guy under contract as a veteran back. That's kind of where I would want to go.
Right. The Bears are they let go of Travis Homer. His contract expired. He's a free agent. So obviously there was a spot right there. You know, he was 27, 6 years in.
It was an empty spot when he was on the fucking team. It was an empty spot with him and Roshan on the fucking team.
Yes.
We get rid of running backs. What was it the one kid that's 38? He got a touchdown. I forgot his name.
Jahade Walker?
No, not Jahade. It was a running back. I forget his damn name.
The one we cut in preseason.
Well, you didn't cut him in preseason. We cut him like we got rid of him after the fact, like after the game he had for us. I forget who it was. The Giants, maybe. Regardless of that, he had a great game for us running, and then boom, he's gone off the fucking team. It's like, but we have to have Roshan, franchise pillar Roshan Johnson. We have to have Travis fucking Homer, who's the special teams Brown. Special teams at Britton Brown, yeah. The special teams ace, Travis Homer, who I don't fucking see making tackles at all on special teams or even on the fucking field for that matter. So there was wasted fucking roster spots out there already.
So, you know, you're saving about almost $5 million with those two guys gone, right? We have Najee Harris, 27, about to be 28. He's available. Austin Eckler, Travis Etienne. How do you say his name? Anthony? Etienne. Javonte.
That might be a guy to look at.
Yeah, that would be one of one of the guys on top. Kenneth Walker III. He's 25.
I would love to have Kenneth Walker III, but I feel like if he has a great game for Seattle, there's no way maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't think that they
let
would.
him walk.
Yeah, they just let him walk like that.
Yeah. You got J.K. Dobbins, and then it just drops off from there. I mean, Jerome Ford, Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt. There's not much
Former
after that.
Bear, Raheem Mostert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got these guys, man, and you've gotten rid of so many guys that are on other teams that were on your fucking team. Tongas was on the Bears, ended up lighting us up in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Like these things, you got to be well aware of the quality of player that you have. And I think that right now with a guy like Ben Johnson, I think that understanding takes a step up. You know, as far as him working with polls, working with the scouts, I think it all takes a step up because Ben's come from a place where they got top-notch players. He knows what he wants as far as his offense. Defensive-wise, I'm sure he's going to be putting more time in with Dennis Allen. But regardless of that, it's the Ben Johnson. So you're going to be getting players that are going to fit Ben Johnson's mold, right? And regardless of that, like I feel like the past of we're just going to cut players who, you know, end up being great on. I think that is in the past. I think they're going to take more time on some guys, give some guys a little more leeway, not like a Velus Jones leeway or like a Roshan leeway, but they're going to give them some time to go ahead and work it out and see if they could get find a diamond in the rough, if you will, you know.
Yeah, definitely going to be a point of emphasis along with the offensive and defensive line. And I know you're cutting up tape on a bunch of players, and that'll be for another day. But as we get closer to the draft, that's something that we're going to be discussing and breaking all that down for everybody. As far as like, you know, JC's not here and he's the capologist in the group of us. You know, we talked a little bit about that in the last couple of weeks as well, but a lot of that stuff is going to be taking care of itself. I don't think we're that constricted with the cap because they'll move some stuff around and make it signing bonuses and, you know,
they're gonna have to cut. They're gonna have to trade somebody's gonna have to get traded. Somebody's gonna have to get cut. Like the two biggest ones are DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and you got was it Edmonds? I think those three guys potentially could be off the team. I mean, all three of them. Like, and I'm not being facetious. I'm not, you know, going overboard. They potentially all three could be off the football team.
Yeah, you have DJ Moore, $28 million on the cap hit. Then you have Montez Sweat at 25, Jalen Johnson 25, Joe Tooney 21.
Montez is fine. Montez is there. Like Montez was, we don't have pass rush to be getting rid of pass rushers. So
right, exactly. Dayo Obendingo, 20 million. Jonah Jackson, 19. Grady Jarrett, 18. Tremaine Edwards, 17.4. Drew Dahlman is at 14. Kyler Gordon at 13. Cole Kmet at 11. TJ Edwards at almost 11. Yeah, so those guys are going to be, there'll be some bonuses paid out and restructuring contracts to open that money. So we'll let JC break that down next week when he's back. He's working today. So that we can be the rest of the week. I don't know what he's got going on, but we'll find out soon enough. On the Bears, before we jump off to the next subject, I wanted to talk about the opponents that were announced as far as home and away. Home, you got the Detroit Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, obviously. You're going to have old school NFC Central and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's going to be a good game. You got the Eagles, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Saints. I feel like we play the Saints all the time.
Not late. I think before last season, I think the last time we played the Saints could have been like 2-3 years ago. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me go look. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, road games. You're looking at Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, obviously, and then Buffalo Bills. That'll be a tough game. Miami Dolphins. That should be a cakewalk because that organization is just dog shit. Atlanta Falcons should be a lot better. They showed some life. They were in the playoffs. Carolina was also in the playoffs, and then you might be playing you're going to be playing either one of the champions of the Super Bowl, which is this Sunday, either the Patriots or the Seahawks. You'll be playing them, which is wild. So we have literally the toughest schedule next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, that's always subject to change, especially.
Injuries.
I mean, it changes quickly. Yeah, it changes very quickly. It changes in the preseason and in the training camp. You know what I mean? Like you start to look at things, you start to see some. Unfortunately, people get hurt, and yeah, it sucks. But like that's kind of like how you have to look at it. Is like people are going to go down. Some people are going to step up. There's going to be some surprises. There's going to be some overachievers out there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I guess 2003 we played the Saints. We're at the Saints. Sorry. We're at the Saints, and then did we play them in 2002?
I thought we played them in the playoffs, didn't we? That was a little later.
No, that was a while back when we played them in the playoffs. That was like mid 2021. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. To your point, yeah. New England felt like they walked through the playoffs. They played everybody that was injured, and this you can't fault them for that. You're going to play whoever's in front of you. They were saying that about the Bears. Oh, you're just playing backup quarterbacks. I'm like, yeah, but it's 52 other guys that are playing their ass off to try to win the game. So let's not just leave it onto one person. So, and the Bears had lots of injuries the entire season. So hopefully we can get the injured guys back. I know Trapilla won't be back to the end of the season if he even comes back next season because he won't be in football shape. He'll be rehabbing, but he won't be in football shape, especially at that point.
No.
So I don't expect him to come back. And then we're getting our injuries back. There's gonna be signings. There's gonna be a draft. I mean, it's literally going to be nothing but Bears going on at all times. So we'll be covering the Bears throughout the year, all the way through the summer, all the way through training camp, all the way through mini camp, all that stuff. We'll definitely be covering the Bears. And if anything breaks, you can just stay tuned with TCSF on the Facebook page, on Instagram, and on the podcast. Like, we'll break some news on there. So we're gonna
and then of course we're always doing shit. So
TCN
like I said, this shit don't stop. It's not gonna stop. First of all, it don't stop with teaching. It never stops because that's just what we do. But I even said it like right after that loss to the Rams. Like the next show, it's like, dude, we've just begun. Like this is probably going to be the most entertaining offseason we've seen in a while. Like as far as podcasts, as far as content, draft. Like there's going to be so much focus on the Chicago Bears that you might forget a little bit about the baseball. You know what I'm saying? Or it might mix in where it's like, man, now you have three things taking your attention because the Bears are going to be, looking to get better. The Bears are going to be looking to take that next step. So it's very exciting.
It's very exciting. Ivan, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. And on the flip side, we're going to be talking Chicago baseball. He's wearing his Cup stuff. I'm wearing my White Sox stuff. We're going to talk. There's a lot to talk about with the Chicago teams before they go off to spring training. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/ or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to No War on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z and Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. And it's time to talk about our baseball team. So I got the sounder on this thing? I'm pretty sure I got the sounder on this thing. Come on, tell me I got this. I gotta have it. There's a 3 up and 3 down, right? Here we go.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Old school Bugs Bunny, because
I love that one.
yeah, that's a great one. Let's talk about the Cubs, man. It's exciting what they're doing. They got a couple of guys, couple big names in a trade and in a signing. How are you feeling about your Cubs?
Oh,
wow.
I would say what?
I know. I thought it was a kind of the. Oh no, but you should.
No,
be
it's not
excited.
depressing. No, it's not. It's not depressing. Well, let me get to my point. I'm at the point where I'm happy they went out and they're getting names. They add a lot of pitching. They're adding pitching. They got a big bat at third. They solved that. With Bregman.
Yep.
I just like part of me feels like there's just one more piece missing. I feel like there's still something missing from this team that where I could say, all right, maybe in a perfect situation you can go up against like the Dodgers in the NLCS or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can. I just feel like maybe there's one more bat that needs to either explode, on the team, or you need to find to help this team out. I'm not quite sure with Ballesteros at DH. Like I know he's a hitting machine. Hopefully, maybe he ends up being great. Maybe he's the next Pablo Sandoval. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Maybe that's the case. But for me, it's just not. It's one thing missing. Like they're doing great. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not upset at all. Like I think the moves that they're making are good. Like I think they're going to contend. It's just what puts you over the top. And I think that there's one more piece that could put them over the top. Hopefully that they're leading the division. Hopefully they're at the top of the NL come trade deadline, and maybe they make that move for another another bat. Maybe they pull the trigger. But part of me says that the way that the Cubs have maneuvered and the way that they've gone about in recent times, that seems like a stretch.
It does feel like a stretch. I think they're going to try to keep a lot of stuff in-house. Just going from the outside in, as far as your outfielders, right? Left field, you're going to have Ian Happ there, and you're going to have PCA at center. Those are staples, right? Those are written in cement. And then right field is where your questions, right? You have your Seiya Suzuki, who's not that great on the defensive side, and then he's hot and cold at the bat. Kevin Alcantara, can he show up this season and take the reins away from Seiya?
I think Bregman. But to your point, real quick, with Seiya, I think Bregman helps him tremendously. I think he helps him tremendously. No, just to be in the lineup.
Oh, as protection wise in the lineup.
Yes, I think he helps him tremendously. I don't know. Maybe they had Bregman at second, but regardless of that, you Seiya with runners on is. I mean, like I said, he's kind of hot and cold, but I like to see Seiya with runners on more than not because it just to me not getting one guy over or on within those first three batters is been kind of what the Cubs have done for a little bit, especially when they lose. Especially when they lose, they don't get runners on, they don't hit in critical situations, like none. Like they really struggle when they struggle, they struggle. So for me, I think one more bat changes that entire it's changed now, but I think it really amplifies that lineup and takes it to another level.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna look at the bats right now. I have it already up, plugged up for me. But you have Bregman at third, boom, solid, no worries there. Nico at second, solid, no worries there. Shortstop Swanson, great defensive player. You can stash him all the way as the number 7 hitter, and he's gonna be just fine, just like he was in Atlanta.
Yeah, he can't be batting fucking 4.
No,
like
that
he
was. Yes, that was a problem this year, and that's what I'm
Shouldn't be
saying.
in the middle of the fucking lineup at all.
And that's why Bregman fixes a lot of those issues where now you can have almost a set lineup. I'm old school. I like having my lineup set most of the time, the same way, unless you guys got to give some guys some days off or whatever, but you can move them to DH and whatever. But again, your infield is pretty solid. Michael Busch at first base. Again, he's got to take a step forward this year with his bat and be a significant person there.
Might be the best infield since 16.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah. I mean, besides El Mago tagging motherfuckers with his eyes closed and
right,
all those cool things, but other than that,
slightly less athletic, but they make the plays. Like they make plays. Like
definitely. Like as I'm saying, your infield and 2/3 of your outfield is set in stone. It looks really good on paper right now. We've seen what they could do last year, so if they can continue doing that and surpass it even better. Where I have some issues, catcher. Carson Kelly, Miguel Amaya, and Moises Ballesteros, your emergency catcher. That's where I think you guys need some help. And there's nothing out there. There is nothing out there unless you're going to make a trade.
No, and that's something that you need to look in the draft for. That's something you need to send your scouts down to the Caribbean, down to Latin America, looking for catchers. Looking for guys that can hit, but not necessarily hit, but like guys that can command. First of all, that can command the pitching staff, right? Guys that have a good understanding of pitching, good understanding of like almost like a manager mentality, right?
Yeah,
kind of like a manager mentality. So you find guys like that, and if they could hit on top of that, at least a 250 fucking hitter. As a catcher, that's huge, right? Like that's fucking big. Like for recent for catchers historically, but you rarely get a guy like a Buster Posey, you rarely get a Joe Mauer, you rarely get catchers like that who can rake, hit for power, hit for average, Sal, and still fucking go ahead and drop down for 9 innings and call the ball game. Like that's fucfucking tough. So all I'm asking for is a 250 hitter, 15 home runs, 60 RBI, 65 RBI, and you catch at least 70% of the games. Or you know what I mean? Or whatever you split, whatever the split is, you catch that. And it's going to be tough because I don't know if I like Carson Kelly. I like Amaya. You saw Amaya get injured a bunch recently. Right. Carson Kelly had a good year last year. Can he do that again? Again, I don't hate those two. I don't think it's the worst, but I just think you're going to be coming up here soon in the future. You're going to need a catcher. And I don't know if there's going to be a guy out there because if you have a great catcher, if you have a good catcher, you're not giving that motherfucker up. You know what I'm saying? Like
the Red Sox did. They gave us a catcher.
right. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like it's you don't just do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like even with you talking about Fisk or AJ?
No. Well, Fisk was number 1, but then AJ was from Minnesota. But I even talking about right now, like our catchers on the White Sox right now. We got Tio and Carroll, and the Red Sox are like, can we get Tio back? Absolutely not. You traded him.
Oh, they got Carroll. I like that kid. We saw his debut.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that kid. I
Yeah,
do. Carroll, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Carroll. Yeah, he's got a big bat. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not the primary catcher because Kyle Teal is. And I think we have. Well, I don't want to get into White Sox stuff, but we do have 3 catchers. So maybe call the crosstown like, hey, bro. Yeah, man. Hey, help you out. I mean,
I'm sure there's a outfielder, a young outfielder, a young bat, or a young pitching arm that you could probably use. But but with that, like you said, it is kind of weird. Like you got hopefully he could hit like Fisk. But the Red Sox, you made a mistake giving up Fisk. You obviously need a guy like Ikiro, so you made a mistake. See how that, like, you don't just give up catchers like that. It's. I mean, look around. Look at all the trades. How many trades you see for catchers out there? Year in, year out. You see trades year in, year out. You don't fucking see catchers being fucking moved, especially when they know the pitching staff and know the pitchers that are in the organization. You just can't just. Here you go. We're switching catchers willy nilly.
No, they're a center. They're just like a center in football. You don't give up a great center. You pay the guy the money because he's going to be literally the one that calls all the plays, sees everything. He's involved with the entire offense, and he's probably the smartest guy on the damn field. In both sports, they are the smartest guys on the field because they control everything. They control the shift. Hey, they know batters' tendencies because they watch a lot of film. They know their pitchers' tendencies. I'm like, nope, he's done. Go get him, coach. They know all that. They know these guys inside and out. And then, that's going to be an issue for you. And then I was going to talk about what's available out there and in place for your right fielder, or in place to say there's not a lot out there, but a name that would be a guy that can come off the bench and spell, and he's an older guy. But I think he fits in because he's played for you. Mike Tauchman. He's 35 with a 2.4 WAR. A glue guy, great defensive in right field. He's a Chicago guy. I mean, that would be a great fit. It's not going to cost you much.
He's from Palatine.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Palatine's not Chicago.
I said a Chicago. Okay, yeah, Chicagoland.
Chicagoland guy. And that's even pushing it out in Palatine for Chicagoland.
I mean, your other option is Marcell Ozuna, who's 35, but he does have a 5.9 WAR, but that's more of a designated hitter.
Yeah,
that's more of a designated hitter.
I would keep him just hitting. It would be great to have him just hitting, but I would keep him just hitting.
Could you live with that if they sign Marcell Ozuna and then put him at DH and just like, hey, fuck it, we're just gonna ride with?
I would do that. I would do that shit. Hell yeah! If they ride with Seiya and right and just go, like, that's a big bet. You come up clutch for multiple teams. Yeah, he's great. He's great.
He was great. Yeah.
Back in the day, but yeah, like. I could see that, but I wouldn't mind Mike Tauchman. You've already been a part of the organization. You're a fan favorite. You know what I mean? Like, I think he would be a perfect fit in the locker room, especially as a veteran. As long as he stays healthy and can contribute, because I think this season you'll see a little more eagerness to make change if things don't work out well. Like, there's going to be a point of emphasis to say, we need to get shit going. Like, you cannot, this isn't a failure we'll let them grow. No. You're making moves to win right now. You're making moves to win this year, next year, and the year after that. So like I said, everybody's got to perform. If you're not performing, you got to find somewhere else to get the production you need, because you're going against Goliaths now. You know what I mean? You're going against, and especially in the NL, you probably going to have to cross the LA Dodgers at some point, period. Like, that's just, it is what it is. And if you can't put a team together, or if you allow this team who's supposed to win now too many mulligans and they're just not like, then I lose faith in the Cubs, right? Then I'll be like, all right, you're not making moves. Nobody's stepping up. Who's the voice in the locker room? That'll worry me. But as long as they come out, and I'll a little prediction, as long as I think they'll end up first in division. But if they're first or second in the NL Central, with the race being like within 5 games, you'll see them making some moves. I feel that. I feel it. But I'm skeptical, but I feel like that's kind of where you need to be. You need to be top 5 in the NL, maybe number 1 in your division, or number 2, but like it's a game or 2 gap, something like that, in order for this team to really push for making big moves come the trade deadline. They've disappointed me so much. I just don't have that much faith in them.
Yeah. Speaking of my faith, how much faith do you have in this pitching staff now that they've added some arms?
Show me.
You got
Matthew Boyd. Show me. Come back. Steals come back after the injury. Show me. Even Horton. And Horton looked fantastic. He looks like he's going to be our guy someday. Number 1 guy, if not this year, real soon. But again, show me again. Do that again. And then you get the kid from Florida. You just had your best season in your career. Show me again. Show me as a 5th starter, you can be a great pitcher, because I think being that 5th starter, going up against, guys that are probably coming off the bench, guys that are, you're playing against some subs, you could look better. You could find your groove again. You know what I'm saying? Not that you're going to become, the ace, but you could find your groove to where you can help the team, help the ball club. You eat up innings, and help us out. That's what my dream would be. But y'all got to prove it to me. All of them got to prove it. I like what they did, but you've seen this Cubs team too many years where you're like, yeah, I think we got it. I think we're good. And these guys don't perform. And we give them, we give them an exit. We give them an excuse. They're going to perform, period. Like, I want to say I like it. I just want to see it. And that's from top to bottom with the Cubs organization right now. 2016 was 10 fucking years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
Welcome to the club of now saying it was that long ago. Yeah.
Right.
That's the same thing for us. 21 years ago.
10
it's been too long.
years ago, bro. 2 elections. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're 2 elections.
2.
No, 3 elections. 3 elections. 3 elections. And yeah, because that was 6. Yeah, 3 elections.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, too fucking long.
Too long.
Too fucking long, with too many promises, with too many times you failed to meet those promises and the expectations of the fans. Playing like calling poor. Like, no, bro. Like, 2020 or not, you're not fucking broke. You're not fucking poor. You need to go act like a big boy ball club. This is the first time I've seen it in a while that they're acting like a big boy ball club. I just want to see it through. Show me that you could do this. Show me that you could be a big boy ball club. Show me that you got the players out there that are going to take this team to the playoffs and compete for a World Series title, because that's what Cubs fans want. 16 was a taste that we don't want to we want back. You know what I'm saying? I know it'll be hard with the Dodgers and other clubs, but you're a big market team. You just have to be able to find a way to market yourself to some of these players and bring them in free agency. You're able to get it with Bregman. You know what I'm saying? You're able to do it with Bregman. Now let's see if you could do that come the trade deadline or come next season when you're going to need some more free agents. Let's see if the big boys want to come play for the Chicago Cubs.
I can't agree with you anymore, but you're looking at Justin Seal, Javier Assad, Colin Ray, Shota Minaga, Cade Horton, James Tyone, Edward Cabrera, and Matthew Boyd. Lots of young arms, a couple veterans in there, but you got 8 starters. You got 5 spots. Spring training is going to be a dogfight for those 5 spots. And if you're not showing up, Shota can be out the first month. You're going to be in the bullpen. See you, bro.
They're going to be in the minors. They're going to be something.
Something.
like I said, you got to be able to fucking perform. I don't want to give them any more rope. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give them any more of the leash. Now it's time to perform. Show me. Period.
Yeah. Who's your closer? Is it Palencia?
It's probably Palencia for now, but they were talking about the guy from the White Sox. Remember Hewer, if he could come back. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the closer. I don't know what they're going to fucking do.
Yeah, I mean, you got Phil Maton and Caleb Tybar, who were back end guys. He said yes. Castellanos cost too much right now.
Yeah, I would love for him to come back, but
it costs too much, and it's going to put you over the threshold, and they don't want to pay that. So,
and I don't know if he fits with
I don't think he fits his culture.
The lineup with the culture of the lineup of the bulk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Again, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I think the pitchers and catchers report in a couple of weeks, and then spring training starts in like 50 days. It's going to be exciting. And speaking of exciting, my White Sox have been busy. Yeah, write a song. That's right.
No, play the song. Play the song.
Oh, play the song. Here we go.
There it is.
White Sox, go, White Sox. Let's go, White Sox. We're with you
all the way. Okay, YouTube. If I turned it down.
Yep, that's enough.
That's enough. They traded with the White Sox yesterday on February 1st. They traded for David Sandlin, who's going to be a pitcher that is going to be pretty much ready to play, but he's going to be in the minor leagues for a little bit. Jordan Hicks, who used to be on the Cubs, throws at 100 miles, but he's wild as hell. Jordan Hicks?
Was he on the Cubs? No, he was on the Cardinals, bro.
He's on the Cardinals?
Jordan Hicks was on the Cardinals. And Cardinals, and then they traded him to.
He was on the Cardinals, and then he went to Toronto and to San Francisco, and then he was with San Francisco and then Boston, and then now we have him. So he's been, he had a rough 2025. He had roughly a 7.5 ERA in 2025 with those two teams. And 24, he had a 4.10, and then in 2023, he was at 263. So maybe the White Sox, they do this. They get guys that they can fix, they can patch them up, put a Band-Aid on them, and if they do well, they'll flip them. And that's what I think they did right here with Jordan Hicks. He's 6'2", 217. He can definitely light it up with the radar gun. But I think the biggest thing is that they took on that contract, that money, but to get David Sandlin, and they'll also be shipping out a player to be named later, cash, and right-handed pitcher Gage Zanell. So that's who's going out. The White Sox also DFA'd Brian Ramos, third baseman, and they DFA'd him they traded Brian Ramos to Baltimore Orioles. They DFA'd Jairo Irate, who was part of the Cease trade to San Diego. So pretty much they got only one player left in the organization from that Cease trade. So nothing has come up of substance from that. So there's I feel like what Chris Getz is doing is he's trying to have a lot of depth. And if this guy's not doing it, we're moving on to the next guy. I feel like he has a very short memory because he has made. I feel like the Cease trade was premature. He could have waited and got more at the trade deadline. I feel like there's a lot of those things that he's done. And then I think I have the graphic up here. What he's done since trading Robert. Media assets, and then all the way at the top. So since trading Robert with the $20 million to the Mets, this is who they got. They signed Muni. They've got Austin Hayes for $6 million 1 year. Luis Angel Acuna is coming back. That's Ronald's little brother.
That guy could be. That guy's gonna. I think. And when you first picked him up, I think we were talking about it, right? I was like, I don't know, what. No, I was talking to somebody else about this point. Remember when you lost Tatis?
Yep, that's exactly
this is like you got Tatis back. Like this is like you went ahead and you made a point to go get a guy like that with the potential he has. Lou Bob had all that potential too, but I think with Robert, he's not the face. We
No,
barely heard him speak. You know what I'm saying? So he's not the face. Yeah, there's probably a little bit of the language barrier, all that, but even with that, he was never present. Like out there talking or being never. So hopefully you get a little more, of a positive character and a positive leader or clubhouse leader with Acuna. But again, I think that this team is truly like the leader is Will Venable.
yes,
Honestly, I really like what Will Venable has done last year, and hopefully with a little bit of a mix of veteran leadership and youth, he could do a better job this year. But as far as like leaders, I think an Acuna, that's a guy that could grow into being a face or a leader on the team. More you just got to be able to surround this ball club with guys who are how I say just white side like grimy that fucking dog mentality. Like I think right now that White Sox team needs to have that, and whatever players you're bringing up, either from spring training or into the organization, have to have kind of that we're going to go ahead, we're going to fight it out, survive, and scratch and claw our way and see what happens at the end of the season. But I think they're a couple years away from really being a factor. I really like what they're doing. This is going to be a fun year for the White Sox. I feel like there's no expectations, but if you have guys, if you get guys to perform, especially now that you bring in a guy like Acuna, the Japanese kid, who else? You got Teal, you got all your young guys coming up. It could be a really fun year on the South Side for the White Sox. Expectations will come eventually, but I feel like right now, play with the house money, man. You're building up. You're even what's what's the GM's name?
Chris Getz.
Chris Getz. I wanted to say Gordon Beckham. Same position.
Same position.
Two white dudes. But yeah, Chris Getz has done a fantastic job. I think he's just chipping away one step at a time, just chipping away, because you can't get through that mountain of slop with just one go at it, right? With just dynamite. You can't just boom and then you fix the whole fucking thing. You got to be able to rescope that organization into a contender, and that starts with the players. That starts with the mentality of the locker room. And Will Venable, being a former player, he's done. I think he's done a great job, especially with younger guys.
Well, Chris Getz, what he started doing is surrounding himself with proven people who've rebuilt organization. He brought some guys from Kansas City who rebuilt that championship team. He took guys from Arizona who rebuilt that organization when it was good. So he got a lot of guys from different organizations. So he doesn't have a bunch of yes men. That's what we're used to with the White Sox, right? Oh yeah, Kenny Williams, I'm the final say. Stay out of White Sox business. And then you sabotage the guy who replaces you and don't let him do what he wants to do, and sabotage his rebuild because you don't want your legacy tarnished because you want to be like, I'm the only one who brought a White Sox championship. No. They screwed over the last GM, and they're not doing it with this one. So this is great. In right field, you got Brooks Baldwin, young guy. He's going to be 26. Not the answer right now. They need a right fielder. Center fielder, still listed as Brooks Baldwin as the number one guy, but it's going to be Luis Angel Acuna if he has a great spring training, because he's been playing in the Southern League. What is that called? The Winter League. He was playing Winter League ball. He had a game with 4 home runs. I mean,
like the only way they keep him down is for arbitration purposes and shit like that. Like that's the only way I can see them keeping him down. And I don't think
he already played with the
he's already. Yeah, so he's done.
So he's got to be up. I don't think he has any options up left. So he's got to be playing center field now.
Okay, kid. There you go. So you bring him. They're going to go with this guerrilla youth mentality, right? Like just they're going to throw him in there, see who could swim, right? I like it. I do like that idea because right now you got a bunch of young kids who are coming up to the farm system. You got to know who could play. You got to know who's going to stick up in the big leagues and who can't. So I like that trial by fire, I sink or swim type of approach. It's it's for me the White Sox. The White Sox just like it was so disappointing when they the Tony issues, them failing with that team, that the team that they had, the players that they had, that team, in that era, in that little short window, that team I felt like could have won the World Series. Like it probably, if you have someone different, if you have Rick, I think you have Rick. I think Rick gets him deeper into play. I think you beat the A's. Yeah. Let's just say that. I think you beat the A's and move on in the playoffs. But again, it was just there's just too much sleight of hand was a guiding hand. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about just too much of the guiding hand trying to control the organization. And I know he's the owner of the organization, but again, there's just some certain things that you need to stay out of. Like you've been hands-on so much. Maybe this time you just stay the fuck away and don't interfere. And I hope that's the case.
It looks like it because they brought guys from other organizations who are not yes men, guys that have proven records of rebuilding organizations. And he's up there with Chris Katz and Jim Thome and all those guys that are there. And if you look at what the players that they're getting, right, they've got 3 good catchers: Kyle Teo, Corey Lee, and Edgar Carroll. If one of them turns out to be a superstar and one ends up being like just a backup player, a backup catcher that's really good, you've really hit. And now you can trade one.
Or if you get 2 that are really good.
You do have really 2 that are really good. Like Edgar Carroll's got some pop. You've seen him.
Yeah,
yeah. He has a cannon. He can throw down the third. He does that. Kyle Teo's another one. Corey Lee's the one that kind of feel like Corey Lee's the one that I feel like it took a step back a little bit last year because those 2 guys came up and kind of took a spot. But 3 good catchers. First base, all right, you went, and this guy landed on your lap. No one signed him on the last day. You're like, screw it, let's go. And you got Murakami. He's gonna play first. Your backup first baseman is Lenny Sosa. He's like the Swiss Army. I think he plays every position. Second base, you got Chase Mydroff. I think we're good there. I think the kid can play there. He's young. He's gonna make some mistakes, but we're good there. Third base, Miguel Vargas. This is your prove it year. If you can't hang out at third and do what you're supposed to be doing and be able to hit, because the hot corner, you got to hit. Third baseman's got to have 20, 25 home runs, and you got to have a great glove.
And that's the first move. That's the first move. Like big, like he's supposed to be a guy like, and I'm not saying he's supposed to be like a superstar, but he was supposed to be like a consistent. Like, he was supposed to be. I'm trying to think of a player to compare him to. But he was supposed to pop, and he's shown some signs, but it's just you got to have it a whole season. You got to see that talent flourish for the entire season. For
he was there for the disaster Tony season. No, not Tony. The one right after whatever his name was. Who was the coach before Venable?
Fuck.
Right. That's how forgettable that guy was. Anyways, he had no control over the locker room. So Miguel comes in. And you see him and Jose Abreu were just the ones sitting at the top of the step like this really happened. We lost in the 9th inning all the time, whatever. We got blown out, whatever. And he was seeing that, and he wasn't playing, and he didn't know he was playing. And then Chris Katz said, "Hey, bro, we got Will Venable. He's going to work with you on the infield. All right, you're going to have coaches. They're going to work with you. The position's yours to lose." That's what I'm saying right now. It is the position for him to lose. If he can't do that, guess what? We're going to be getting Rock Cholowski in the draft with the number 1 pick, and that kid will be up in 6 months.
Rock Cholowski.
Talk about a White Sox name. It's not going to fit on the jersey. But I'm getting the White Sox have the number 1 pick, and all consensus comes to that. And yeah, you if the kid can rake, bring him up quickly. Colson Montgomery figured it out last year in the second half. One of the best players in the second half. Probably led the home runs too. He had like 19 home runs in the second half or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Left field is another question mark. Yeah, Andrew Benintendi, old man Benintendi. I don't think he fits with this culture. That's a one you got to get rid of.
He never
Sorry.
fit. Period. He
No.
never fit. Like
No.
you gave him the highest paid contract. He never fucking fit.
He's not the highest paid contract AAV anymore. It is Mooney. Mooney makes more money AAV. But again, there's some spots on here, and I know on the graphic, what did we sign? Where's my mouse? Come on. Who we signed? There it is, right there. Austin Hayes should go into the outfield and help out with either right or left. And then if you have Acuna who can run, those are 2 guys. And then they got a closer, Sir Anthony Dominguez from what should have been the world champion Blue Jays. I mean, they just blew it in the last couple innings. And then you got Sean Newcomb. So now you've got two guys at the back of the bullpen that are very veterans. They know what they're doing, and they can shut it down. The White Sox were the worst team in 1-run games. They lost like 90% of them. You changed half of those games, and you're looking at a 500 season. And right now, and I think our starting pitching with Davis Martin, you picked up, like I said, Anthony Kay. You have Sean Burke, Shane Smith, Drew Thorpe, Kai Bush. You got some horses there. Back end, you got Jordan Leisure, Dominguez, Hicks is in there now. Mike Vassell, Grant Taylor, who is a starter, but they could keep him in the bullpen because he's still young. He's 24, I believe. I think right now the White Sox look pretty good. And if Wickelman Gonzalez, another player that came for that Crochet trade, can pan out, a 500 season is not out of reach. JC, I hope you stub your toe at your job or they run over your foot. JC's saying my White Sox suck. JC's up for a rude awakening because he's going to be going to both opening days. I don't think he's ever been to White Sox Park, so he's going to enjoy the beautiful White Sox Park and its amenities and multiple bathrooms. But again, White Sox, I am loving what they're doing. We'll see what they if they make any more moves because they're just trading and signing players, and it's looking like they're stacking up the deck to be able to make some moves and have a sustainable future. And that's something that both teams are doing. I think the Cubs and the White Sox are doing that to have continued success for a long time, not these pop-up championships that we had in 16 and in 05, right? Just like the Bears, the 85 Bears. Like we have these one pop-up championships when you had a team that could have had a dynasty. JC's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're doing a remote, JC. You have to be there. Oh boy. Oh wow. Wow. We're not talking about your backyard where you and your dog poop. You want to talk some Bulls, Ivan, before we jump off? We'll keep it short.
It's just a disappointment. That's what it is. The Bulls lack of fucking effort. You just played the fucking Heat.
Yeah, blown out.
Just
last
played
night.
them. You won, and you get fucking blown out. You're down 50 fucking points. I don't know what this team is, man. I don't know what this team is.
They were Miami. They went out. That's what happened. I can guarantee you that's what happened because they did not show up for that game. And again, you have a coach that doesn't hold anybody accountable, and Billy Donovan. So
I can see it. Yeah,
I can see that. I think they what was that trade? I know they made a trade. All we do is be a facilitator for everyone else's trade, and I can't stand what the Bulls are doing. I don't know what they're doing. Where it is trade tracker. Bulls received Dario Saric and a pair of second rounders, and we gave away a two-way player. Okay. Again, nothing spectacular from the Bulls, who continue to love being in the middle of the pack and being in the play-in, and as long as the United Center is full, that won't change. So I think they play tomorrow. I know the Blackhawks are playing right now.
Yeah, Hawks up 2-0.
Oh, beautiful! I love that because they got their ass
They
whooped
look
4-2.
they look like they're skating fast. They look better
Yeah, because
today.
on Friday they were skating very slow. They couldn't get to pucks. They couldn't make any passes. The passes were so sloppy the first
We finally
2
scored on a
periods.
power play.
There we go.
Yeah, it was very sloppy on the other day.
JC's protective of his dogs. Yeah, Blackhawks, go support another team that's rebuilding. I think they're doing it the right way. They do it through the draft just because of the cap restrictions, but Blackhawks doing what they do and growing. Hopefully they can fix everything in the next offseason to be a playoff contender next season. So continue to support that team. And let's see, do you have anything else? Oh, who's your pick for the Super Bowl?
Oh, who I want to win, or I don't really want either of them to fucking win.
Oh yeah, but if you have to put money somewhere,
If
what you want?
if I have to pick one, it's going to be the Patriots.
Okay.
I got you know my beef.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Mhm.
You know.
I
At
know.
the bottom of the commode sits two teams. The Green Bay Packers, and then beneath them, the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh my God. If Sam Darnold were to win, I would be happy. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots as well. You have a coach that played there, is now the coach, and is this his first year there? Mike Vrabel?
Yep.
Look at that. Talk about changing the culture so quickly and taking your team all the way to the playoffs. So yeah, I'll take your pick. I'll take your pick. But either way, I mean, I'm more interested in the Bad Bunny Bowl than the actual game. I mean, we'll be excited for the game, but it is going to be the Bad Bunny Bowl. Any other things you want to get off your chest, Ivan?
I won't be watching at halftime. I know that. All right, y'all can do whatever y'all want. I'm gonna go smoke a blunt or something. I'll be out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, well, we're gonna cut it off here. I know Ivan's got stuff to do, and are you going live with TTNL?
No. There's nothing on
Okay.
tonight. I'm just cutting tape and watching the Hawks game. But I think I'm
Gotcha.
gonna get out of the basement because it's fucking cold though.
Yeah. This studio's cold as well. But we're going to wrap it up here, and we'll be back the next week. We'll cover some of what happened in the Super Bowl and what's going on with our baseball teams, if any news breaks, and then we'll focus on any Bears news as well. So keep it here on True Chicago Sports and TTNL for all things Chicago, and we'll see you soon. So that is it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the people that have been subscribing, keeping our numbers up. Thank you to all the listeners, watchers, family members, new friends, old friends, and our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports fans. Check us out on our social medias. You see them all right there. Yeah, go right there. And for Ivan, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next week for episode 286. So until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.